welcome. Here we go. It's that time again. Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org and on the Facebook on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. And don't forget, of course, you can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for quick and easy access to all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, how to call the show live, show archives, etc., etc. Hello to our friends at Raw Talk Online Radio. Today is Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021. So welcome one and all. And before we proceed any further, we've got a very exciting show for you today, a couple of great guests who are going to be joining us. But I do want to remind you that we are proudly sponsored by the Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan right across the street, or as our friend Crazy Joe calls it in his videos, the Hobnobbin. But it's actually pronounced Hop Knot. So the Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan, they have delicious gourmet pretzels, they have craft beer, they have wine, they have trivia night on Thursday nights with the great Bill Cini. Friday nights, our friend Grant Lampton plays there every Friday from 7 to 9. He's doing a residency there. He'll be in as his normal self, his alter ego, or I guess Grant Lampton would be his alter ego, but Mike Sutterth, he'll be in today in the second hour to chat for a bit. But Grant is there on Friday nights. They do Sunday brunch. And, we were talking on the show yesterday about how phenomenal it was to be there over the weekend on Saturday for the big Juneteenth celebration, which was very, very successful. I think we were all kind of blown away by how many people were there, and it was just, what a great day. We talked about that a lot yesterday, but such a wonderful family that owns and operates the Hop Knot, and so wonderful of all of you who support such a great business. So if you haven't been there yet, please do so. Don't go there today, because Monday and Tuesday is their weekend, but they are open Wednesday through Sunday. Let's see. Coming up today, so some programming notes, both immediate and in the near future. So today at about 4:30, although Alex, if you're listening, if you want to join me early, you're certainly welcome to, but our friend Alex Whiteley from the UK will be Skyping in. Always love talking to Alex. He is a very experienced broadcaster and podcaster, always has a lot going on, and I think he may have some thoughts on the recent Crazy Joe goings on online, and some of the harassment, or I don't even know what the right term is. Crazy Joe has been making these videos attacking us on his Crazy Joe Show Facebook page. So, but Alex Whiteley, who is a gentleman, a true gentleman from the UK, will be Skyping in at 4:30. Or like I said, Alex, if you want to, I've got the volume up on the Skype. If you want to hit us early, you're welcome to too. And you're always welcome on the program. Coming up in the second hour at 5 p.m., we'll be joined by Mike Sutterth for his Tweakonomics segment. So we look forward to that. Later this evening after the show, we were hoping our new friend Dirk Don, we were hoping that he would be able to join us live, but unfortunately with his schedule, he is not able to join us live. So we're going to be recording an interview with him later after the live show. Now, he's the one, so he also very experienced in podcasting. I want to make sure I get this right. Yep, you can find him at madcastmedia.com. Also, Arrogant Media. He has a podcast called Super Arrogant Brothers. We're going to talk to him about all of that. But he also made a fantastic sort of mini documentary, if you will, about Crazy Joe and his harassment of Jenny and I online, and the terrible things that he says, and all of this that's been going on. Fantastic new friend. And Jenny is particularly... Jenny has been really just happy that, to see this gentleman go out of his way to stick up for other people who he perceives as having been bullied by Crazy Joe. Jenny has really particularly taken that to heart. Crazy Joe has said some anti-Semitic things online about Jenny, and more than some, quite a few. And so, so she's very sensitive to that, as am I. But I mean, to a large degree, we kind of laugh at Crazy Joe because he's not really to be taken seriously. But but Jenny was just really felt good about, seeing this mini documentary. And Don, I almost said Don Dirk. It's Dirk Don. That may not be his real name. That may be a persona. But anyway, so I'm going to be recording an interview with him after the show. He's going to call me because he's, again, with his schedule, he's unable to join us live. Although what we could do is we could still do it using Facebook Live. We just won't be live on the radio with it, but I'll record it. And then I told him, I'll feature some of it on the show tomorrow, and then but maybe depending on how long we talk, maybe I'll just feature a little bit of the interview tomorrow, and we'll tell people where to find the rest of it online. So that's going to be happening. So a very, very busy day today. And then tomorrow on the show, well, actually, I'm not sure exactly what's happening tomorrow on this show yet, but tomorrow evening, Jenny and I are very excited. We are going to be guests on the Charles Richardson Show. Charles is in the Facebook Live chat. Hello. Charles Richardson is on every Wednesday and Friday night from 7 to 9 p.m. And we'll have to figure out, Charles, however you want to do it, if you want us to call in or Skype in or Zoom in or whatever it is you'd like us to do. Whatever's easiest for you and so on. But Christian has been on that show, I think, several times, Christian Lacoste. And I did call into the show once recently. But, yeah, we're really looking forward to that. So because Charles wanted to address the whole Crazy Joe debacle and said some very nice things, too. He's another individual who doesn't like seeing someone taking shots at Jenny and I, the way this Crazy Joe individual from New York City, not to be confused with Crazy Lou, who called us yesterday. We like Crazy Lou. I mean, he also was a bit insulting, but something about him is a little more palatable. If you missed it, you got to hear it. The Crazy Lou call was fantastic. Fantastic. But anyway, so we look forward tomorrow night to being on the Charles Richardson Show, Jenny and I. And thank you, Charles, for that. That will be very exciting. So lots going on, always a lot going on. Also, Thursday here on this program at 4:30 p.m., Easy G will be doing his entertainment report. We always look forward to that, don't we? So lots going on. Like I said, and I do see Alex in the Facebook Live chat. Hello. Alex, totally up to you, whatever works. You don't have to wait till 4:30. If you want to Skype in sooner, you can, or if you want to wait whenever it's convenient for you. But, like I said, you're always welcome. But if you'd like to join us, you can call us at 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476, tweet me at Matt Connarton, or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. So there are many ways that you can get in touch. And, of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook Live chat. And we will say hello to everyone in there in just a moment. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is to give us a call at 603-250-6007. By the way, just a couple other quick housekeeping notes regarding Crazy Joe. I did post on late last night. I had been downloading some of the videos from Crazy Joe's Facebook page that he had been posting about us and putting them up on YouTube. And the reason I was doing that is because I wanted to document everything he had been saying, not just about Jenny and I, but Christian Lacoste and the great people of New Hampshire, all these disparaging things. I felt that this needed to be documented publicly. And I ended up I got a notification from YouTube. We got flagged for one of the videos for hate speech, which makes sense because Crazy Joe was saying all these hateful things. So I still have the videos, but I removed them from YouTube. They're going to be going someplace else. But again, I just want to have them for documentation reasons. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
This is Charles.
Charles Richardson. How are you, my friend?
Oh, I am pumped. Tomorrow cannot come soon enough.
Absolutely. And I think, by the way, I think I get to introduce you to somebody. Alex, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. So Alex Whiteley has also just joined us via Skype from the UK. So Alex, meet Charles. Charles, meet Alex.
What's up,
Hi, Charles. How's it going?
See,
Sorry,
isn't this nice? I feel like Crazy Joe has brought us all together.
Oh, yeah. He brought us all together all right. And believe me, he's not going to like the outcome.
Yes, yes. Well, we will. We don't want to make threats, but we will. We look forward to delving into this on your program, Charles, which of course is online. So there's no, we can say whatever we want to on your show.
Exactly.
Yes.
No, that's the reason why I brought the invitation to both you and Jenny.
Yes.
Because I feel that your forum is good enough to address it formally, but I know there's anger in there because, listen, I wasn't even attacked, and I'm angry.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think this is the perfect forum for you guys. And by the way, StreamYard is probably what I'm going to send you guys the link to.
Oh, okay,
you guys
perfect.
can go ahead and do either video, audio only. You can do either one.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, we're looking forward. We're looking forward to that, Charles. Thank you.
And I am even inviting Mr. Joe. You want to go ahead and make an appearance and defend your actions?
Ooh.
I dare you to come on my show.
That's
all I got to say,
I
Matt.
think that's a great idea. That is an awesome idea.
All right, thanks, Charles. We'll talk to you then. Bye-bye. All right, the great Charles Richardson from the Charles Richardson Show. Well, welcome, Alex. Yes, it would be wonderful to have Crazy Joe on, but I don't imagine that he has the capability technologically to join us.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, wait, I mean, you can't really use cassettes on StreamYard.
Right. Yeah.
But no, I had a situation like this a while ago with another guy called Joe, actually. I don't want to name his show because then people will go and listen to it. But he attacked one of my friends, Keith McCleary from the Tatners podcast, and I defended him, and he went deeply personal on me. He started pulling up pictures from years ago when I'd put a bit of weight on, started attacking my wife.
Wow.
Started going into he went into my podcasts and started critiquing my podcasts live on a show. And this went on for days. It was a live show for like 4 hours every single day. And I got to the point where I could. He didn't block me. He let me just argue with him on the chat. But I decided it was my old show, Thor's Kin podcast, and I invited him on the show to dish it out, and we did, and it worked out okay in the end because it was just a misunderstanding. The guy's an angry guy. He felt bad about what he said, but after we'd spoken about a few things, it seemed to sort of simmer out, which I prefer to do that than to be left with all that anger of unanswered arguments on Facebook and what have you.
Well, that's very positive, and that's great. I mean, it's great that you. You kind of, and even if he hadn't taken it up on you, Alex, even if he hadn't accepted your invitation, you kind of would have won. I mean, you probably didn't think of it as a competition, but you probably would have, in a way, won by default because you had the guts to invite him on, which he probably never expected. I assume he was surprised.
Yeah. He kept inviting me on his show as well because I'm a British guy. He wanted to do after all that. He wanted to do a podcast together. I was like, yeah, not on your Nelly, sunshine.
Yeah,
it was. And I think when it comes to between beef between somebody, I love you, Matt. I love you. And if anyone's going to attack you, I'm going to defend you. But as soon as he starts becoming racist and
Mm-hmm.
anti-Semitic and all this New York is the bee's knees and all this sort of stuff, I'm from New York, I'm the roughy tufty. Like, seriously, come on, just get a grip. Like, you can't be like that. There's no thing like that belongs in society. There really isn't.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, by the way, there's been, I should mention this, there's been a odd, I don't know how closely you've been following this, Alex. I don't know if you know that where things broke down between Crazy Joe and I was he was trying to email me a file.
I listened to the show last night. You broke it down last night. It kind of makes sense now.
Great. So he was trying to, so there's the new development is this. I realized something today. So just to briefly refresh people's memories, or for anyone who doesn't know, Friday night, he was trying to send me a file, an MP3 that he had allegedly recorded, and he couldn't send it using Yahoo Mail. He was emailing me and trying to call me while I'm here doing a radio show, because Friday nights I'm the co-host along with our friend Dan Randlett of Pauly C on Retro Spectrum Radio. So I couldn't really help him, but I was able to help him enough. I said, go to Gmail, sign up for a Gmail account. You can use Google Drive to send it and this and that. And, that's where everything exploded, because that wasn't good enough for him. And that's when he turned on me, essentially. But what I realized today is I went to his Facebook page, and where all of his contact information is listed, the phone number on there, by the way, is an old number. It does not work. But where all his contact info is listed, I look at the email address that's on his contact info, and he has a Gmail account. It's like Crazy Joe Show at Gmail or something. So I'm like, wait a minute. So he got all angry at me for telling him, go to Gmail, sign up for an account. And then I realized he didn't even need to do that. He already had a Gmail account. All he had to do was try Gmail instead of Yahoo Mail, and he could have sent me the file. And I'm stunned. I'm stunned.
Looking at this from a distance, it looks like you've given this guy a theater. You've given him an excuse to explode and creating, he's created a monster that people can sit and watch now. And him blocking people on the Facebook Live, people still watching, aren't they? So he's got what he wants. He's got all the attention, and he's done it. He's very clever with that. I mean, he's gone from trying to demand people to listen. I watched the documentary thing.
Yes,
people having to ask permission to leave his live. Get out of here, buddy. Terrible.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start becoming racist and anti-Semitic, okay, so here's what I did. And I spoke to Matt about it last night. I said, look, we can attack him. You can play the clips on your radio show, and we can sit here and talk about it all day. But I think what we need to do is we need to destroy this guy the same way as you destroy Freddy Krueger. You report him, you ignore him, report, and just get rid of him, because Facebook won't like that. But this is where it fell flat on its face. I listened to a few of his videos last night, and as soon as he starts going into a tirade about how interracial relationships are unnatural and you should stick to your own bloodline, and that's racist, I flagged it.
Yep.
Facebook came back with every single video that I tagged, I flagged, and told me that it was not against their standards. And so I kept reporting it. And now I've gone to what is, I imagine, the Facebook version of an ombudsman. And I've sent them a huge there's a form you fill in explaining why I think Facebook should do better.
By the way, Alex, you're mentioning that causes me to realize something too. You'll often hear people complain about, Facebook is censoring me. If I even do, some people really kind of take it to an extreme where they'll say, if I even express a conservative viewpoint, Facebook is deplatforming me. They're censoring my posts. They're kicking me off and everything. And I think that this is the inability, because you're not, I know for a fact, by the way, Alex, other people were doing that as well, reporting Crazy Joe and his videos and whatnot. I think that this situation and how hard it is to get Facebook to lift a single finger to do anything about Crazy Joe, and they just let him keep doing this. I think this is evidence that, no, they're really not out to look for any excuse they can find to deplatform people. Crazy Joe and his continued existence of his quote unquote show on Facebook, I think is evidence that no, their quote unquote standards are actually pretty lenient, because he's been getting progressively more racist, more anti-Semitic, more misogynist. And in fact, Jenny and I kind of looked at each other stunned when we heard him using the N-word for the first time, because we hadn't heard him use that word before. But Facebook doesn't seem to want to touch him.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Can I share something with you that's probably going to shock your listeners?
Please.
You'll be like, oh, I don't like this. So, right, I got a warning off Facebook 2 weeks ago because I called. I in a comment I put that you American lazy B words, right?
Yeah.
And that was simply, it was in context. It was a bit of a joke because I don't like calling, I love American football. I love the NFL, but I refuse to call it American football. I call it American hand egg because we have football in the UK. I'm watching it right now, right? That was football. And for America to go and just name another game football I thought was lazy, right? They could have called it so many amazing things.
Yeah.
I got a warning for that. I'm from Facebook. We're like, that is against our community standards. Yeah, Crazy Joe is allowed to use the N-word on the live video.
That is so
ridiculous.
Ridiculous. It is so strange. It is so strange. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder how it all works. because you're right, and I've known other people who at least not that I can recall. I've never had anything flagged on Facebook, but I know other people who have made fairly innocuous comments on things, and similar examples, and they get warned or suspended, or sometimes Facebook too will suspend you for other things, like just if you share something out or something, they think you're too much, they think you're spamming or whatever it is, but Crazy Joe, for whatever reason, he gets to just keep making these videos and they won't touch him. It's very, very odd.
Well, as soon as I saw that this was going on, one of the first things I did was to message you just to let you guys know not to take anything he's saying personally. He's a very angry person. No one agrees with anything he's saying. Yeah. And in the end of the day, he's digging a hole for himself. And he will end up, punishing himself, really. Cutting his nose off to spite his face. That's what they say, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what's gonna happen. You've got good support. I'm quite proud of Christian as well. I've seen him a few times on the show. He was very mature about it up until a point last night when he got very passionate and very angry. Yes. Which is understandable.
Yeah.
So I just hope that he just disappears into the dust and never rematerializes.
Well, yes, eventually that will happen. A couple people in the chat room are wondering, why we even continue to discuss him. Why don't we just ignore him? But to be honest with you, I think that these kinds of things, when they happen, and we've had discussions about, deplatforming and standards and bullying and whatnot with those other people who've been on the show, who we've gotten into this stuff with. There's somebody I've associated with who now there's people who won't talk to me because I've associated with a particular individual. We won't rehash that, but I think that these are relevant issues. Cyberbullying is certainly a very relevant issue today, and I think a lot of people would consider what Crazy Joe has been doing cyberbullying. Go ahead.
I think it's really important to, this is a great opportunity to illustrate and show people. People won't be going, why are you constantly talking about Crazy Joe? Just ignore it. Blah, blah, blah. When somebody becomes anti-Semitic, when they become racist, misogynistic, and a bully, this is a great opportunity to show people this is what a bad person looks like. And name and shame him and show people what he's doing. I think you sharing the videos, I've been doing the same to some extent.
Yeah.
It's a way of showing people this is not how you behave. You don't behave this way. So you do need to keep talking about this until this guy just disappears.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I think, there's different ways to approach it. Like Stefan Philbrook in the chat room, who I love, he thinks we should just ignore him. But no, I like your approach better, Alex. Name and shame him. And part of it too is for me, from my perspective, last night, Dirk Don is in the chat room. Hello, Dirk. Last night, in one of the videos, Dirk, if you're able to call in 603-250-6007. We're supposed to talk tonight, which is fine, but if you're available now, go ahead. But if you're at work, don't worry about it. Whatever works. But anyway, Dirk is the one who made that documentary that you mentioned you had watched, Alex. But
yeah, it's great.
But last night, see, Crazy Joe, he keeps with his videos, he keeps ratcheting things up. And last night he began threatening to have me thrown off the air, which of course is laughable. I haven't done anything, but once he started making that kind of threat, he's threatening my career as a broadcaster. Then it's like, okay, well, I absolutely must continue to document this and continue to show people who this guy is, to make sure. I want to cover, CYA, right? I want to make sure that everyone knows who he is, and make sure that everyone understands that this is a person with no credibility, so that if he does try to, and I don't know, maybe he'll send someone here at the station an angry email or something, who knows, about me, which would actually be fun to read on the air, I suppose. But, I want everyone to know, I want management here to know that this is a kook. And, and if he does try to complain or make trouble, he's someone to not take seriously,
And also, I think what's really important here as well is, as a guy who's just stepped into the radio world and done, good things. It's all because of the hard work I've put in. I do work really hard with what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I've earned that. I've earned my own radio show. You shouldn't just go to people and ask for favors, lean on people, and pressure them into getting you into the spotlight. You go out there and you earn it. Him bullying you because you wouldn't help him and you want this, that, and the other, go out and earn it.
Right.
That's the most important thing.
Right. Yeah. He wants everything to be handed to him. And Alex, and maybe we'll start to pivot away from Crazy Joe a bit, because I do want to hear about get an update from you on everything that you've been doing, because you're very busy. And you've always got a lot going on, and I, by the way, I like associating with people. I like making friends with people who work hard and who like to have multiple projects going on, and really are the complete opposite of Crazy Joe. People who really like to apply themselves and learn how to do all of this. Instead of just leaving it for somebody else. So that's one of several reasons why, Jenny and I like talking to you. But you're an example of someone who, this isn't easy. There's an ocean of content out there, and you got to learn the technology, and then you got to learn how to stand out, how to do something that people are going to be interested in, how to create content that people are going to be interested in. And I don't know, like if you maybe I'll kind of just use Crazy Joe as an example. If you were to, not that you would want to talk to Crazy Joe, but if you were to talk to someone in his position, what kind of advice would you have for someone who really wants to do this? Crazy Joe thinks he's, just gifted with all this incredible talent that's going to waste. But if you were talking to someone with a lot of ambition, ambition's not the right word because of who we've been talking about. But anyway, if you were talking about someone who thinks, I know how to put it. If you were talking to someone who truly believes, whether he has the ambition or not, truly believes that he should be famous and successful, what advice would you have for someone, be they completely hopeless like Crazy Joe, or just someone who maybe there's some hope and you wanted to give them some advice?
Well, first of all, is to do your research.
Mm-hmm.
Do your research, get some experience down your belt. Literally just get a microphone and sit and talk. Do your research and learn what people want to listen to. The reason why Crazy Joe is getting all this attention now is because he's saying all the wrong things and doing all the wrong things. Now people are trying to destroy him,
Mm-hmm.
rightly so. I make a radio show. One of the things you told me, Matt, was to make a show that I would enjoy listening to. And that's what I've done with Naughty Talk, my radio show. I've made something that's fun. I base myself on a very famous DJ over here in the UK called Chris Moyles. He was one of the he was one of the first people to start bringing tens of millions of people in on BBC Radio 1 to listen to his show, because he's very honest, drives his own desk, and he's a hard worker. And that's how I base myself.
Mm-hmm.
So find a good role model for starters. That's Chris Moyles. That's for me. Do your research. Learn how to talk down a microphone.
Mm-hmm.
And improv. Improv is so important with what we do, because whenever I go into a radio show or do a show every week, I don't make any notes. I have a guide, an idea of where I'm going to go. I have my playlist that I've put together, and I just go with the flow. It's not always going to work for you, but all you got to do is try hard, work hard. Don't just expect it to fall into your lap. It's not gonna. You got to work for it.
Yeah, yeah. The thing about the improv really resonates with me, because a lot of people will, they'll ask me for advice. They'll ask me for tips and whatnot. And, one of the things I tell them is, as you know, I keep it very loose here, very freewheeling. I usually have, I don't make an outline, but I usually have it is an outline in a way. I usually have about 5 or 6, maybe 7 or even 8 different news stories that, I'm going to try to get to during the show and maybe talk about and opine on and so on. And then, of course, I end up not getting to any of it, because inevitably something else that I think is more interesting will transpire. But I like that. To me, I love the adventure of it, but I always tell everybody, I always preface my advice with this. I say, whatever I'm about to tell you, I tell them, I'll tell you how I approach it, but any broadcasting professor or instructor at any broadcasting school, like here in New England, we have the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, which is very well known. I say, any broadcasting instructor will probably tell you that whatever advice I'm about to give you is wrong, because my approach is much looser than is typically considered professional, but I kind, and really too, this is a radio show. We're on an FM station and we have sponsors and, we all the legal stuff that we have to follow. But to the extent that I'm able to get away with it, which is a great extent, because I'm very blessed. The management here gives me tremendous autonomy. But I really kind of run it much more like a podcast than an actual terrestrial radio show.
Yeah, I get that for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's good. I feel like conversation is an art. I've been doing this for many years now. For the listeners that don't know, I do a local podcast in Shrewsbury in the UK called the Shrewsbury Biscuit, and I have a carry-on luggage bag with all my mic stands, cables. I have all my stuff in my rucksack as well, and I have to carry that equipment into Shrewsbury up and down this really steep hill. I work really hard for it, because I feel like there's something about conversation and about documenting these moments in life, because trends change, people change. Accents as well. I love accents. I love capturing different accents, things like that.
Yeah.
And especially around America, you guys got some amazing accents. I try to inspire people as well. I'm doing a 24-hour podcast challenge in September. I'm going to go to live for 24 hours to try and raise money for charity.
Cool.
It's not the idea of look at me, look what I'm doing. I'm actually challenging people to do better than me. If you've got a podcast or a stream or even an OnlyFans, I don't know, whatever you want to do. But if you can affect your community in a positive way, go out there and do it. Go and raise some money for a local charity, which is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I would never go out and attack people like Crazy Joe.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's been surreal. It's funny too, because this past weekend was such a a contrast in that, in one sense, it was such an enormously positive weekend. Here in the city of Manchester, we had on Saturday the Juneteenth celebration going on, and at the same time, Pride, and of course, those two things go together in some ways. And it was such a positive energy here in the city. So much positivity happening. And then, and meanwhile, at the end of the night, we leave our wonderful sponsor, the Hop Knot, and go home to listen to this guy from New York attacking us, just in multiple videos, and it's just strange. It's surreal. It actually hasn't hurt my feelings at all, but and nor Jenny for the most part, but except the anti-Semitism it does bother her.
Yeah.
But
and nobody would blame you, and if it did, I mean, when my Joe, we've both got our own versions of Joe. Matt, that's crazy. When my Joe was attacking me at first, it was fine, and I was like, yeah, whatever. I work in my actual job is a high pressure job where I will get abuse and I will get eyes rolled at me and doors slammed in my face and stuff. So I'm used to that. But when he starts attacking my wife, and my work, that's when I got angry, and it's like, right, we need to do something about this. And I feel like sometimes you got to face those demons, but I don't think Joe has the capacity to switch around. I don't think he can. He doesn't seem like a guy that's got any empathy at all whatsoever. Right.
Yeah, he seems like he's like a relic from a bygone time, because he talks about he talks a lot about how it used to be. And he's kind of got this whole when men were men and women were women type of thing. And he's very resentful of hip hop music. And he just, with each series of videos, he kind of digs himself deeper. But he did have the discipline to kind of be on what I guess would pass for his best behavior when he thought he was actually going to have a show here on WMNH, which is just, it just seems so laughable.
A big shout out as well to any radio stations that are listening. I am very interested in taking this English accent of mine and doing some sort of radio work in America, obviously digitally. I can't come over there every week. That'd be crazy. But no, if any radio stations are listening and they want some English input, get in touch, because I am interested in furthering my career, but with what I have worked on. I'm not going to sit there and go, hello, get me on your radio station, get me on your radio station, get me on your radio station, and then start abusing someone if they didn't. Listen to what I've made, and if you like it, drop me an email, or something, get in touch, because I'm very interested in that.
Yeah.
Joe is going about this the wrong way. Don't do that, kids. If you're listening to this, don't go out there and expect it. Go and work for it.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. It's so important to be professional and to just be the opposite of Crazy Joe in every possible way. Now, how many podcasts are you currently doing, Alex? How many do you have going?
So I've actually cut back at listen. So I've got the Shrewsbury Biscuit, but that's looking at the moment it's summer, the world's open, so I'm at one event one weekend, and I got 2 events on one day. People are emailing me every single day. They want the Shrewsbury Biscuit there. So
good.
I am doing that, but it's very hard work because I have a mobile setup. So I have to literally take my mics to the person to speak to.
Yeah.
So I have that. And then there's the USUC, the US UK stuff. So we have What's the Difference, where we speak to actors and comedians, and you came on my show, you and Jenny.
Yeah.
It's all about American culture. And we have the Wednesday Night Live thing, which I'm kind of coming back away from a bit, letting the guys deal with that because I'm busy doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And on the 14th of July, I'm going to be starting. I'm not going to be doing the podcast. I'm going to sit back and listen to my good friend, a very famous artist, Eric Fluger, and it's called Yelling at Clouds. And it's all going to be about art and movies and culture. And it's just going to be him taking people to school. That's basically what that's going to be.
Oh, wow.
And it's looking like I might be doing something with the kids here in work, where I work, some sort of community project where they can get behind a microphone, learn how to edit, and teach it like treat it like a project.
Yeah.
Somebody's doing artwork, somebody's doing social media, someone's doing editing. We've got the hosts. want to try and create something like that for the kids here. So that'd be great.
This
I'm
is
working on an awful lot, but I love it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. This is Alex Whiteley, who we're speaking with all the way from the UK. Where exactly in the UK are you, Alex?
So I'm from a town called Shrewsbury in the county of Shropshire, and this is the birthplace of Charles Darwin.
Yes, absolutely. By the way, Dirk Don in the chat room says, as a Satanist, I live by the notion that if someone strikes you with their hand, you smash them with yours, for self-preservation is the highest law. Well, I don't want to smash anybody. I just, just kind of want
to. I feel like there's better ways of looking at things than going at someone with raw anger.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a bit of finesse and a bit of technique, and just being a bit clever about things. Sometimes you can, like with Joe. I think you've done what you need to do now. You've done what you need to do. Just give him that rope.
Yeah.
Just give him that rope now.
Yeah.
Keep reporting, guys. And I'll say huge hats off to your listeners for supporting you with what's going on, because it's not nice. I've been there. It really isn't good when someone's attacking the things that you love. But when it comes to people like Joe, let him dig his own hole.
Right.
Going at him with brute force is just going to give him ammo and telling people to go and listen to what he's doing. Oh my God, what he's doing now. It's just going to give him an audience. So like Freddy Krueger, just ignore him.
Right.
Report.
Right. Now, how are things where you are in terms of COVID? Are people getting vaccinated?
They've just opened up the vaccine to everybody over 18 now. So they've everybody. Yeah, so it's quite good. I'm double vaccinated, and
excellent.
I'm watching the football on the laptop right now, where at Wembley, and there's about 22,000 people there, which is very new for us. I know you guys in America have been, depending which state you're in, I've been doing that with the NFL, just whatever. But we've taken a very strict approach to it. In fact, the world was meant to open fully again, and they delayed it for 2 weeks. Because we have this Indian variant. I don't know if you've heard about that. There's an Indian variant going around across Europe now, and that spiked. It spiked in the UK. So Boris Johnson was like, "We're going to leave it for a couple of weeks and see how it goes," because there was a spike in cases. But I was on the understanding that you're going to get a spike of cases. It's about the mortality rate.
Mm-hmm.
So if people are getting it and they're surviving and they're not going to hospital, then surely that should be okay, right? Weird.
The good news with these, there's bad news and good news, right? The bad news, of course, these variants we keep hearing about, whether it's the Indian variant, the Delta variant, I can't keep track of them all, certainly. They sound so scary in that they make you sicker. They're more easily transmissible. They're spreading very fast. The good news, of course, is that so far, so good. I hope this holds, but so far so good in terms of the vaccines being able to protect against these variants. But but of course, like many of us, I'm nervous as hell that, one day I'm going to look at the news and, here's another new variant and looks like breakthrough infections are way up with this new variant. But, so far so good.
I just feel sorry for people that have put a lot of you see, like I work with a lot of people that plan events and festivals and things like this, big things, and these festivals and these events take a good year to plan and organize. So Boris Johnson saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna wait 2 weeks for a delay," it could absolutely ruin everything for a whole year's worth of planning for an event and festival, and it's heartbreaking to see. I really do hope that things get better soon. I think winter is going to get bad again. I don't think they'll put us into lockdown, but they might I think they do a tier system here in the UK that might stick. So tier 1, 2, and 3. And if your area or your town goes into tier 3, then you can go into lockdown. If it goes into 2, then, they alter the restrictions for each tier. I just want everyone to go out there and be able to have a safe time. I want to go to a festival or a concert,
Sure.
I want to go and get sweaty in a nightclub or something. That's what I want to do.
Right.
And I've missed that.
Oh, absolutely.
How are things for you guys? Are you okay to go drinking in bars and stuff now, or everybody's vaccinated? Are you using that card or app thing that you've got?
No, I mean, I leave my vaccination card at home. It doesn't seem like anyone's interested, at least where we are here in New Hampshire. It doesn't seem like anyone's really interested in looking at it. But yeah, I mean, in this part of the country, we've done very well. I mean, I assume we're at herd immunity in terms of the Northeast because for the most part, I think every state in this part of the country is over 70% vaccinated. We've done really well. The thing that's going to keep us from getting to herd immunity as a country is those southern states where you've got a lot of, anti-science, anti-vaxxer people. And not that there are not also some around here. God knows there are, but especially in the South. So I don't think we're going to get to herd immunity as a country. I'm pretty sure that we're not. Now, the next best thing, in my view, is that at least everyone who is smart enough to take COVID seriously and get vaccinated has access to the vaccine. That is the next best thing. And if that's the best we're going to be able to do in the United States, which I think it is, I'll take it because, at least I can protect myself. I can protect the people I love from me getting sick, and they can do the same. And that's probably the best we're going to be able to do. But that's a hell of a lot better. I mean, that's exponentially better than being in a situation where I'm walking around with asthma surrounded by COVID denier, anti-science people, and through and against my will, I might get infected with something. That's a pretty terrible scenario. So, like I said, I'll take it. I'll take the next best thing, Alex. And that's.
I think the best thing is we've got the systems in place to sort of keep yourself and others protected now. Like I test myself every week. We have the tests you can pick up from the chemist.
Yeah.
Test yourself because of my job, So we do that every week. They've just there's a huge festival here every year called Download. Very rocky. Yeah. And they did like a beta test sort of festival this weekend where every single person that went in was tested. So that there was no need for masks. People could go and jump in a mosh pit and get drunk and throw beer in the crowds and there's only 10,000 people there.
Yeah.
And I think they're still waiting to collect the data and see how it goes. But if that works, then that's a way forward, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, by the way, we just have been joined in studio by Mike Sudderth. Hello, Mike.
Hey, good afternoon. Good to hear the accent from across the pond, sir. My wife is from Oxford.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes, I mean, as you know, we've not seen each other in over a year plus months here.
Oh, bless you.
Your wife is there now?
No, she's here, but not been able to see her mom and dad and her brother. And
I gotcha. Okay, I thought you meant you and your wife hadn't seen each other. I was like, wait a minute, what?
That's another show.
Right.
No, it's good to hear the accent from across the pond. Like I say, my wife in particular is chomping at the bit to see her dear family. So.
Oh, very good. Well, maybe next time. Maybe next time over there, you guys can visit Alex Whiteley.
We could do a remote.
There you go.
We'll go for a pint. So I mean that's one of the things that I can't wait to do. I want to come over to America. Like my co-host is in Vermont, so I won't be far from you guys. So as soon as we can travel and I got the money, I will be coming over to New England and spending a bit of time over there. So I just really can't wait. I mean, I've got this co-host that I love to bits like a brother, and I've never been able to hug him. So as soon as this is all over, we can get our butts over there and enjoy traveling again. That'd be great.
Oh yeah, Vermont is right next door, so it'd be cool to get to meet you, both of you guys. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'd be awesome. That's one of the things I want to do. I said to Tom, if I come to Vermont, we're going to New Hampshire, right? We're going to go see Matt Connarton.
Yep, absolutely.
That'd be great.
Very cool. Very cool.
Well, look, thank you very much for having me on the show today, and I hope this thing with Joe sort of settles down and things become a lot easier. But if anybody needs anybody, if you need to talk to someone because of all this, I know you're probably going to say no, I don't need anyone, but I'm a friend of yours. Just drop me a line, okay?
Alex, I appreciate it so much. And before you go, my friend, let's make sure that all of our listeners know where to find you and all of your content.
Thank you very much. So I have USUK, US UK USUK Network, and it's a collection of podcasts It's all designed to discuss the difference between US and UK culture. There's a number of different shows on there. You got USUK Chronicles with Jamie Westwood and Tom Stevens, and they speak to celebrities and get people on. We have What's the Difference with me and Tom Bruner, who just says in Vermont, and we speak to people. We've had Ed Curry. We've had Billy West. We've had a few people on. I mean, it's all about like, what do you guys do different in America that we do in the UK, sort of thing. That's great. So USUK Network, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and go to our website, usuknetwork.com. There's something I would love you guys to support me with. You keep your eyes peeled, because this 24-hour podcast challenge that I'm doing has just been branded. It's not been launched yet, but I'm very, very excited about the brand, the name of this event that we're going to be doing, and the effect it could have, not just in Shrewsbury, around the world. I feel like we've got something really, really special there. So follow me on social media if you like, Alex Whiteley, USUK or the Shrewsbury Biscuit, and just keep an eye on what's coming. That's good things.
Outstanding. All right, Alex, always wonderful to talk with you, and you're welcome anytime. But thank you so much, my friend. This has been great.
Nice to meet you, my friend.
Thank you very much. And you. Have a great evening, guys.
All the best.
I'll
Cheers.
catch you later.
All right, Alex. Thank you. Take care. All right, the great Alex Whiteley. And Mike is here. We're going to be, in a few minutes, we'll transition to the second hour. We'll play a little music, show some love to our sponsors, and then we'll do the Tweakonomics segment. But how have you been, my friend?
Very, very well. I ended the week last week, as you know, and I'm sorry I missed you over at the Juneteenth celebration at the Hop Knot.
Yeah,
I saw pictures of you there, and I was there for the better part of the day, but
yeah,
it was crowded.
Yeah, very successful.
It knocked my socks off.
Yeah, very, very successful. Wonderful to see so much positivity in the city, and just a great day. Yeah.
Good time.
I do want to say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat before we hit the break. A lot of folks in there today. A lot of great comments. We'll look at a few of these quickly, but at the very least, I want to make sure we say hello to everybody. Bobby Champagne is in the chat room, says, again, this is referring to our discussion about Crazy Joe. Bobby says, Jenny, I'm sorry for the ugly things you had to put up with from that man. Crazy Joe doesn't deserve to breathe the same air as you. Very nice comment, Bobby. Thank you. Miriam Banish, who's a top fan, says Crazy Joe is repulsive. Bobby says, I agree with Miriam Banish. I only know what he said in general from what I've heard from Maddie and Jenny. I couldn't listen to that vulgarity firsthand. Shannon McGuire joins us in the chat room, says, I couldn't agree with the caller more. Yep, that was our friend Alex. Unless you mean Charles Richardson, who also called earlier. Rocky Huber joins us in the chat. Rocky's a top fan and says, I think he should be referred to as Sloppy Joe from now on.
That's funny.
Yeah. Let's see. So make sure we get everybody in here. So Stefan Philbrook is in the chat. Like I said, Stefan would rather we not even discuss that topic. But, like I said, I think it's all irrelevant. Cyberbullying and deplatforming or potential deplatforming. It's all relevant, I think. Yeah, Shannon agrees. Time to move on. I think that problem solves itself ultimately. Jenny says, Jenny is more, I think, agreeing with Alex and I that, these people need to be named and shamed. Jenny says it's when people are silent, the most damage is done. Pete Trouble Morris joins us in the Facebook live chat. Hello, Pete. Dirk Dion, I mentioned, is in there. I'm Dirk Don, rather, not Dion. Dion is a common last name around here. Dirk Don, who I'm going to be talking with later, recording an interview with. Miriam says, Miriam Banish, by the way, was here with us in studio yesterday. It was wonderful to meet her, and she brought us lovely gifts, and the cookies were delicious. Miriam says, so much of this kind of behavior happens in direct messaging and private messaging, and that is so damaging. The victims may not get this kind of support. Absolutely. Let's see. I think I saw a couple more. Wayne Noel is in the chat room. Wayne is a top fan from Michigan. Wayne says, caution, you do not want to be perceived as attacking someone with mental health issues. Well, that's the thing, Wayne. You know, we haven't attacked Crazy Joe at all. He's been on the attack on us. And if you, I don't know if you've had a chance to sample any of his content, but he posts these very long, rambling videos about Jenny and I and some others. He brought Christian Lacoste into it, and he's saying anti-Semitic things. He says he uses racial slurs. He's so he's on the attack. We've been on the defense. Bobby says, same story as the frog swimming in the cool pot of water with a fire and never tries to jump out until it's too late. Miriam really likes Alex, says I want to listen to Alex's show. Alex Whiteley, who's just on Skype with us. Let's see. Abigail Jem joins us in the chat room. Hello, Abigail. Miriam says, what Crazy Joe has been saying perpetuates those horrible racist and anti-Semitic ideas. It shows that these ideas are still out there. It's disheartening. Absolutely. Stacy Lawton joins us in the chat room. Hello, Stacy. Nice to welcome Stacy back into the fold. Let's see. Tom Blanchard joins us. Hello, Tom. Jenny says, thank you, everyone, for the support. It really has blown me away. Absolutely. All right. So, welcome, everybody. And we're going to take a quick break. And do you want to? Would you enjoy a Ween song, Mike?
I certainly would. And if Peter's not sleeping, he'd probably enjoy one too. I heard him talking today that he's comfortable going to bed early now. So
yeah, well, he's up very early for the morning show.
Oh, of course he is.
Yeah, he gets up
7 a.m. Right? I mean, he's here at 7 a.m. Rolling.
He's here at 7. Yeah, I think I remember him saying he gets up at like 5.
Right.
Yeah. So he's an early riser.
Anyway, so he's the only other. I mean, are you a Ween fan yet?
I like what I've heard. I like this. Should we go with Stroker Ace? I like this song.
I love it too. It's their mosh pit kind of boogie, punky stuff.
We'll play 2 because I need time to use the restroom.
I do too.
Forgive me if that's TMI for everybody.
Number? What do you need another Ween tune?
Yeah. Do you have another request? We'll see if it's in here. There's one that you requested before that I really liked a lot, but I can't for the life of me remember what it was.
Transdermal Celebration.
That's what it was.
The great Karnak, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Okay, wonderful. So we're going to play a couple of Ween songs. Oh, Peter White is in the chat room. Hello, Peter.
Hola.
Peter White, of course, from The Morning Show with Peter White, which you can hear weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. With a replay from 2 to 4 p.m. right before this program. By the way, Peter White's name was mentioned briefly in one of the Crazy Joe videos. Just want to throw that out there. All right, we're going to play a couple Ween songs, and then we're going to show some love to our sponsors, and then we'll be back with Mike Sutterth is here. We're going to do his, see what he has in store for us this week with his Tweakonomics segment. Don't go away. More Unleashed coming up.
I didn't say one bad thing about Matt today, except that he didn't help me and I was trying to be reasonable.
Everybody, welcome. We are well into hour number 2, numero dos of Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious, rainy downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. Streaming at WMNHradio.org and on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. You can also go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, et cetera, show archives. Also, hello to our friends at rawtalkonlineradio.com. Today is Tuesday, June 22, 2021. Mike Sutterth is here as well at the news desk. Hello.
I'm good. How are you?
Very well.
And you didn't even ask how I was.
Oh, I know, right? Well, you're psychic, apparently. I do want to remind everybody, of course, that we are proudly sponsored by the Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan at 1000 Elm Street, or the Hobbin Nobbin, as Crazy Joe calls it. And he's not saying it to be funny. I'm sure he genuinely thinks it's called that. But they have delicious gourmet pretzels. They have craft beer. They have trivia night Thursday nights. Friday night, they have a certain singer-songwriter named Grant Lampton.
That's me.
That's you every Friday night from 7 to 9 p.m. They have Sunday brunch. They are open. They're not open today. Monday and Tuesday is their weekend. So don't go there right now. But they are open Wednesday through Sunday. It is such a wonderful family that owns and operates it. And they had some great people helping them out, too, during Juneteenth, because they were so busy.
Including me.
Including you, yes. You were there on Saturday.
Yes, I was. You want to talk about them for a second? Because they are your sponsor.
Always.
We'll give them a few words.
Always.
What a great time. I'm sorry I missed you and your friends there. But I opened up the performance part of it. And it was busy then. And what a mix of people and a wonderful atmosphere. And as Kenny tells me, community.
Yes.
Capital unity, folks. Everybody was there. And it didn't matter who you were, where you came from, what you did. Everybody that was there to have a good time. And not even so much to support them, but to support the community. And I got a warm and fuzzy from that.
I know, yeah. It was really, it was just such a great day. Yeah, Jenny and I, we went. We had each had some business in the afternoon. We were there a little bit later in the day, but when it was a little cooler out too. But yeah, it was. We ended up. We got there around 6, and we didn't leave until I think 10:30, which is unusual for us to be anywhere for that long. But we were having such a nice time, And like you said, just a great mix of people there. So
it was cool. So and it went a long way. I started at 2 and went to 3:30 or something, and left shortly after for another obligation. But you guys were there till when, you say, into the evening?
I think we left about 10:30, and and they stayed open till midnight because they usually, I think they close at 10. Yeah, it was Saturday, so I think they usually close at 10. But they stayed open. They took Sunday off to recover, just a fantastic
and
day.
a lot of some political folks came through, and folks wouldn't normally see. It was kind of a cool scene. It was a gathering of sorts, and I know we had something else going down in Arms Park that I wasn't fully aware of, but I saw a bunch of people in food trucks and whatnot.
Was that a Pride event down there?
Because I believe it was.
Yeah.
I believe it was, and I believe some folks trickled over there, but it was just cool to see the bodies, and everybody was relaxed, and it was a beautiful day. It's nice and windy over there because of the structure of the buildings, but.
Yeah, I know. Elm Street can be such a wind tunnel.
I think it was 80 plus degrees for sure, but the wind kept us cool.
It was a nice day to have a little bit of wind, that's for sure.
Amen.
Yeah, absolutely. I also want to mention, of course, because I did see him in the chat room, our friend Mike Pelopita from Queen City Cabinetry in the historic Sunbeam Mall, another one of our wonderful sponsors here at WMNH 95.3. And don't forget the OG of WMNH sponsors, CGI Business Solutions. Wonderful to have all these great associations in the community. And if you're interested in sponsorship, hit me up. Shoot me an email, matt@mattconnerton.com, and find out how you can get involved. I'd love to talk to you. matt@mattconnerton.com.
Folks actually do listen to the programming here. They do.
Oh, yeah.
Not
absolutely.
just you and I.
Absolutely. In fact, you ever go into Bunny's, the little convenience store there?
Yes,
right
I
up the
have.
street? Yeah, I've gone in there, and I have gone in there every Friday. I go in because I finish up my show, and then I have to do some work, and then I shoot down to Bunny's to get my my energy drink. Because, then I got to come back to do the other show, Retro Spectrum, with Paul and Dan. And so sometimes I'll go into Bunny's, and, they play the station in there. And Chris, hi, Chris, if you're listening, he's the gentleman who works there. He'll say He'll be like, there was one day he was like, wow, you really got angry on the air today. You lost your mind. I said, well, yeah.
He was paying attention.
Sometimes I do, but he was listening. I just think that's so cool that that they listen to the station down there. Absolutely. Just want to say hi to a few people who have entered the chat since the first hour. Christian Lacoste joins us. Hello, Christian.
DJ Reckless.
Yes, DJ Reckless, absolutely. Melanie is also in the chat room. Also, Scott Perry from the Courtesy Call podcast, another great political podcast. Mark Kastick, my friend from Texas who called us yesterday. Very nice to hear from Mark. That was cool. We're going to get to Mike's segment in a moment, but let me just give the contact info in case you have anything you'd like to add or any questions at all for what we're discussing. 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text us at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. Oh, and hello to Scott Robinson in the chat who says, good afternoon, Connartonites. So that is another way you can interact and opine, of course, is in the chat room on the Facebook. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is give us a call at 603-250-6007. And Mike, so what have you got for us in the Tweakonomics?
Tweakonomics, yes. I think I've firmed myself up on that tune not to get involved in copyright infringement.
Right. Freakonomics was the other one.
Which is a very fine book available on Amazon. The author's name escapes me, but please look it up. Kind of what behooved me to stir this pot. So,
very good.
There's several books that deviate from traditional economics to behavioral economics, and we'll talk about. But I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, absolutely. What you got?
Do we have bumper music?
Oh, you wanted? Oh, well, you know what? The thing is, we had talked about using Stroker Ace by Ween, but then I ended up
that already happened.
I ended up playing it. Maybe. Do you have a request? Maybe I can find something.
No. Let's improvise. I'm all about improvising, unless you can find. Sure, let's get 30 seconds of Stroker Ace.
Do you want? You want? Okay, we could do that.
Or How Deep Is Your Love by the Bee Gees? Whatever.
Oh, you want that? Do you like that song?
No, I don't. I'm trying to make.
How about a breaking news sound effect? That might work for economics as well. You know, maybe. Maybe a little. I mean, we usually use that for Easy G's entertainment report, but
I don't infringe on that either.
We could adopt it. Well, he won't mind. I mean,
I'm going to need it.
He's very generous. How about that, huh? You like that? Yeah.
Breaking.
Yeah, it's like breaking economic news. It's like you're. It's like you're on CNBC right now, which would be a great.
I quit.
Be a great salary.
Well, I'll take the salary then.
Stacy Lawton wants us to play How Deep Is Your Love? Well, not right now, Stacy.
That'll be the bumper music at the end.
Yes, that's how we'll... Actually, that would be funny. Maybe we will end the segment with that.
And it's all about being funny. All right, so here we go. So my name's Mike Sutterth. I am formerly educated as a economist in higher education and work in finance and all that. I want to give you a disclaimer that what I'm telling you are opinions. We're talking about emotional economics is where I'd like to go. We can talk about facts, and once I get my eggs in one basket here, we can talk about facts. But I'd like to improvise on emotional stuff.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You're a musician, after all.
Yeah, I am a musician. and there are factors that we can evolve into that. But
yes.
Hopefully, if once I get my feet underneath me here, I'm going to pull it together in a more cohesive manner. But right now, I'm stirring the pot.
Apparently, there's a storm.
Me.
Oh, wow. You set off the EAS.
Dude, the Russians called last time. Remember that?
Oh, geez. That legitimately scared me growing up. I don't know if people can even hear us or not. I believe they can hear us online, but they might not be hearing us
This is the bi-weekly New Hampshire emergency test, I believe.
Is it?
Is that what
Well, I don't know, because it started raining out, so I assume there's a storm somewhere.
Right.
You know, because it also
weather
goes
alert.
If there's a storm. Not necessarily that there's missiles in the air. Oh. Okay. I don't know. Nope. I just typed in the chat room, too. I don't know if that goes out on Facebook, but I don't think it does. I think the only people... That was an Amber Alert for people who couldn't hear it, but I know it goes out on the FM band. But that's the first Amber Alert we've had when I've been on the air. Wow, that was... all right, well, I hope they Unfortunately, I didn't quite catch the name of the. I didn't catch all the details, but
I was low in my earphones as well. I didn't hear the details.
yeah. Oh, it did go out on Facebook. Okay, Alex Whiteley says I
Great.
heard it. Okay, good. That's good. I'm glad that it does. I wasn't sure how that works. All right. Well, time to reset. Okay, so what were you gonna talk about, Mike?
An Amber Alert, I guess.
Oh.
As a father of 2 daughters, I'm glad the stuff works. Or
Yeah.
if there's a shout out.
Oh yeah, no kidding, huh?
Anyway, I think I was giving this disclaimer of, I think I know what I'm talking about, but I'm always happy to be corrected. And in the area of emotional economics versus statistical economics, and I hope I bring that together at some point if I'm lucky enough to go forward. But I think I'd like to improvise on the emotional part, which is some interesting stuff. So breaking news, lawmakers are talking about in certain states or universities, if it's their choice, to be able to pay NCAA players for, or let them allowed to make money separate from their full boat scholarships. In other words, in the past, you get a full boat scholarship to Alabama as a quarterback. In the past, you weren't allowed to go out and make money because of the way they had shaped that. And now they, I believe through state legislation, or perhaps they've approached the NCAA, they're allowing a young man or young lady to go sell their jerseys, to go to a signing. I'll sign your jersey. And why shouldn't they be able to do that even though they have a full boat scholarship? Because capitalism, if we talk about the economic system of capitalism, that's how it goes. John Smith or Sally Smith goes to the University of West Virginia, becomes a famous athlete. Why shouldn't they be able to go to Barnes & Noble and say, hey, I'm doing a book signing today or a T-shirt signing, and have them keep the money? Under the last idea of the way it was, they weren't allowed to. But my opinion is capitalism is a pretty beautiful thing, and they probably should. Assuming they got the scholarship, they're not coming from oodles and oodles of money. That's an assumption. But if they get there and they're on a full scholarship and they say, you can't go work at Taco Bell, well, can I go to Barnes & Noble and sign hats for $20 a piece? I believe they should,
Well, so I have a question. So I now I don't know a lot about this, but I know a little bit about it because I'm even though I'm not a sports fan, marketing and merchandising and all of that is very interesting to me. And is it correct that tell me if I'm understanding this correctly, that these colleges basically, so if you go to play for a sports team at a college, with the idea, presumably, if you're really good, that, you may get a chance to, like you may play college football and then you may get a chance to go play in the NFL or you may not. But just as an example, so you're a football player in college and, some of these, college football is big business.
It's huge.
Not as big as the NFL, but it's still pretty damn big from what I understand.
Huge. Yes.
So these colleges make money off of all that merchandising, but there's instances where a college might be using the likeness of players or a specific player, but because it's college, that those individual players don't get any of that money. It all goes to the school.
NCAA has rules that's not allowed.
Okay.
Now, I believe there's a difference between if Tom Brady's on a full scholarship to Michigan, then he wasn't able to, quote unquote, capitalize on that until he was out of Michigan, but the college could.
Okay.
And I think this new legislation is what I'm talking about is if they were selling number 12 at Michigan while Tom Brady was there on a full scholarship, Tom Brady could go sign number 12s at Barnes & Noble or a food festival or on his front lawn.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm trying to open up.
Okay. What do but the colleges oppose this, right? I assume, or the NCAA opposes it.
Yeah, but and that's where the emotional side comes in. Like, and I believe if I was, Mike Sutterth at the University of Vermont and I'm a star hockey player, but only the college is making money selling my T-shirts,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I might want to. And by the way, I'm under scholarship. I can't work at Domino's
Yeah.
because it's against NCAA rules, but I should be able to print up a bunch of my number lacrosse shirts or hockey shirts and go sell them independently and not be in trouble for it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you would agree with that's that.
From a capitalistic point of view, I would.
Yeah.
That, like, don't rob me from what you guys are able to capitalize on me. Don't rob me in these short 4 years to take away from me.
Yeah, because if you don't own your license, rather if you don't own your likeness and you don't have control over that,
Yes.
then what do you have really?
But let's pick a famous college basketball star, Kemba Walker or something in school.
Mm-hmm.
The school was thrilled to, be able to sell his number on jerseys, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if Kemba went on full boat scholarship or not, but if he was on full boat scholarship under current NCAA rules, I believe he wasn't able to make money because he was a provided for player, or he was athletic scholarship.
Okay, so is that kind of part of the excuse that they use to keep it that way, to not pay these kids? Well, you're on a scholarship, so
yeah, I guess, and I don't know for a fact that any particular colleges, take Harvard College or something, that they're opposed to it.
Yeah.
But under NCAA rules, which let's take West Virginia, they're in the Big 12, they belong to the NCAA. Like the rules are, like if this young man or woman went there on a full boat scholarship, you can take care of them, but they're not allowed to make money on their likeness.
Okay.
Under our rules.
Okay.
Understand?
Yeah.
Cool.
We have a call. We'll grab this. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, it's Easy G.
Hey, Easy G. How are you, my friend? What were the rules when you played college football? What were the rules on that? Because you were very famous.
Talking to me?
Yeah.
I never played college football.
Oh, you're so humble.
You played JV football.
So anyways, the college football, they make so much money off that, but it's crazy. But I believe if you get the scholarship, and you shouldn't be able to make any money. So that's my opinion. But as far as college football goes, they have a Final Four championship on Division I, and now they're talking about having 12 teams in there. So this tells me that the big boys, Division I, they don't really care about your money. Oh, no, sorry, they don't really care about the students going to class. It's all about money.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a kernel of truth in there, I think.
Is there?
Back when I was a kid, they used to speak like, well, they take basket weaving, right? You remember that phrase?
Yeah.
Like
I've
they're
heard
not
that.
studying pre-law, pre-med. It's
Right.
But again,
Well, a
that's
friend
a
of mine used
generalization.
to coach a lower league in town here, and he always told me they were student athletes. School came first.
Mm-hmm.
But Division I, the top teams, they're just teasing them. They're just joke. It's the other way around. They're athlete, and then they're a student.
Yeah.
Some of those don't play that long, and then they go on to make big bucks in the NFL. And same with college basketball. It's a lot of these top colleges is a joke.
Well, it's a great point. There's a difference. I mean, if you want to look at it again from my narrow-minded view, is the basketball player who goes to the University of Pennsylvania, right? He's studying to stay in the University of Pennsylvania, and he may have a 1 in 1, add the zeros, if you will, chance of playing in the NBA. But when he gets out, he or she may be able to make a living for him or herself in the free market, right? Because it's probably not going to go play for the Celtics or the Bulls talking about a basketball player. I say that because the University of Pennsylvania normally has a heck of a good basketball program, and every once in a while they get up there. But those both men and women on the men and women's basketball teams, they have to study to stay in there. And but same rules if they were to go there for a full scholarship, if they offer them, I'm not sure if they do, are that they can't go and make money under their own name while they're in school.
Okay.
Which is what I find just fascinating.
Yeah.
I know the lower league, the St. A's football here in town. There's no scholarship for the players because they're a very low league, and they really can't get the top players. I mean, they had a good couple of years when they started years ago, but they didn't play last season, I think, because of COVID. But the team is so bad right now that they lost, a while back, and I can believe this, Matt, they lost 50 in a row.
50?
Yep.
Wow.
They were that bad.
Now I'm not a.
They can't get the top players because they don't give them a scholarship. So the best players go somewhere else.
Well, I'm not a sports guy like you are, EZG. So help me out with something. Does 50 losses in a row, does that constitute what one would call a losing streak? Am I using that phrase correctly? Okay.
Because years ago, this was back in the
Matt
90s. I went to
something.
the first St. A's football game, and it was a packed house, and they were supposed to lose by 50. That's what the bettors were saying.
Uh-huh.
And they ended up winning that game, and they went on to have a good couple of years, but then they fell apart.
Now, what if they had only lost 49? Would that still be a streak?
Yeah, but they're predicted to in the bettors to lose by 50 points. And the game was on
50
Channel
points.
9, and Charlie Sherman was there. It was a big to do, you know.
A big to do. All right.
It was fun to be there, but now
It was a big to do. Of course, it was
they're
fun.
lucky to win one game every year.
You say Charlie Sherman was there, huh?
Yep.
One of the giants of broadcasting. I hear him on WBZ, and I'm always fascinated that he came from good old Manchester.
I didn't know he was. He's on WBZ in Boston.
He's radio 10:30 a.m.
I didn't
I think
realize.
he pulls the weekend shift down there.
Yep.
Oh,
But most
This
recognizable
was a long
voice.
time ago. I think it was back in '95.
Yeah.
I know that the guy that works with Channel 9 now, he's been there like 25 years, so it was a long time ago.
Now, did Charlie Sherman go to St. A's?
I don't believe so. No, he was working for Channel 9.
Oh, okay. I see. He was a sports
Well, if I
reporter.
remember right, that was their first game, and they never went
When they
down there
first
again.
introduced the football team. Yeah,
They've
yeah.
never had that game live since.
I'm old enough to remember on WMUR once a week it was called Beat the Sherm. And he'd go into a local bar and they'd do 3-point basketball or belly bucking or whatever they did, but it was called Beat the Sherm.
Yep.
No, you guys are younger than I am. You don't remember that?
I know that guy for
That was his
long
start in
time.
broadcasting.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right.
Yep. All right, so that's my 2 cents. Have a great show.
All right,
Take care, brother.
EZG. Thanks. Bye-bye. All right, our friend EZG, our entertainment reporter, he did well. Sometimes he only talks and doesn't listen, but he did really well that time. We like to encourage his positive behavior when he's able to pull off an actual conversation.
Now, EZG also is an AKA as, like I do. EZG is known as, or do we keep it separate?
Well, Eric Gagnon is his real name, but but we call him EZG in terms of his entertainment report. He also, he doesn't like to brag. He's very humble, but he was a hip hop artist for a long time.
Uh-huh.
He had Hard G was his hip hop name.
I see.
In fact, you might know him for he had a seminal double album of music called his double album. I think it was called Hard to Be Easy, Easy to Be Hard or something like that. And just a lot of dope rhymes and hype beats. And it's just
I don't think I've had the pleasure to meet him. I've heard him on the air with you several times.
Yeah. Just an amazing talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got cool stuff to say, and if I'm lucky enough, I'll end up in his report someday.
Yes. Christian Lacoste is here, also known as DJ Reckless.
Hey.
Do you have have you guys met, by the way? You guys have probably
We've met
You've met
numerous of times.
Okay, that's what I
run into each other.
That's what I thought. Did you have any opinions on? Actually, it kind of applies to your age group.
We talk about the college thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
100%. I 100% agree with what he was saying, because back when the NCAA made those rules, I was like, well, these kids aren't making money, but you're using their likeness. Like Nike's using their likeness, and Under Armour, and all these places, all these big people. What are they getting from it?
The athletes, you mean?
Like,
Not a dime at the moment.
Yeah.
not a dime, but they're also, I will applaud them on this, they're finding ways around it.
Amen.
Because with the social media world now, there's a loophole. On TikTok and stuff like that, if you get famous because Gatorade runs an ad and you're in it, right? People be like, oh, that dude's name. They'll go look him up, follow him on TikTok. TikTok, like, companies will see what he's doing on TikTok, and because that's a whole separate entity,
Yeah.
brands will come to go that route with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's their business, the athlete's business.
Exactly.
Has the NCAA tried to address that at all, or?
I think this is the process that I heard today that I wanted to bring up, that they're being challenged. They're giving some ground because it's because social media and because of general consensus. Excuse me. Don't eat Zots from England. They foam. They're like explode in your mouth.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway,
that's bad.
General consensus is like they should be able to do it on their own. Okay,
Yeah.
we're not saying that an athlete needs to go through the college to say, hey, you need to give me 15% of revenue on what you sell at the bookstore. It's let me go to a book signing or a hat signing or a charity event and sign baseball cards or whatever, and I get to keep the money. My assumption or belief is that under the current NCAA rules, if you're a full scholarship athlete, you're unable to do that.
Rocky Huber in the chat room says the big one is sports video games using the college kids' names and likeness. The schools make the money, not the kids.
Excellent point.
Yeah.
So that kind of is that's a big red flag to me.
Mm-hmm.
Or what made me aware of the issue. Like, that's a great one because you do have, there's Madden on Xbox or whatever. I just showed my age on that one. It's PlayStation on Xbox, GameCube,
Yeah.
Atari.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Pong. So your name's on the Pong when you're playing Pong.
Right.
But the excellent point to your chat room guest. That indeed, if they're taking their likeness, the university gets money. Everybody's making money except the fellow who virtually or young lady running on the field. In a free society, capitalist market, that's not cool.
No.
And it's not like once they graduate that I assume that whatever.
Once they graduate, it's a different story. Because then,
Yeah.
if they get drafted in the NFL, that's a totally different set of things.
Right. But whatever was created while they were still in school, it's
There's
not
no
like
back pain.
Yeah. So
And think of the athletes like, I don't know if you guys remember Trevon Boykin, who played for TCU. I'm a big TCU fan. He was, most popular quarterback in Texas, in Fort Worth and all that. Once he left, he played a year for the Seahawks, and now he's a real estate agent.
Yeah.
You know what
Hey,
I mean?
man,
He
that's what's
doesn't
up.
play NFL football. Like, that was his bubble to make his money.
Yep.
So, should he have that opportunity? I'm open to say Trevon should have been able to go sign baseball caps and make money.
Yeah.
Because now he's whatever he does now. He played for a year or two as a backup for the Seahawks, but he never replaced Russell,
So Melanie in the chat room says, so devil's advocate, isn't that why college gave them a scholarship to make money while helping developing sports skill for athletes to go pro?
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
Repeat
As
it.
devil's advocate, I'd agree with that. But that's why they developed that policy, sure.
Yeah.
But isn't it time now that, again, an athlete, let's say a high-level gymnast, right, at the University of Virginia, when she finishes that, if she doesn't go on to the Olympics and end up on a cereal box, she has her education, but shouldn't she, as the top gymnast in whatever the ACC or Virginia's in the ACC, be able to make money on her likeness and her skills at that time?
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Tom Blanchard points out that they can receive gifts. How does that work exactly? Do you know? As far as
I don't know how that works.
Gatorade and stuff, and brands could send them gifts, basically.
Okay.
If that's what they're saying. Yeah. Like,
But-
Gatorade can somewhat sponsor these athletes, but they can't pay them a dime.
Okay.
But they can't get them an apartment and a car,
Yeah.
even though we know all that all happens.
Oh, 100% under everything it does.
Right. But you're right. Above board, they don't like, okay, here's a Gatorade apartment and here's a Gatorade, SUV to get back and forth to school.
Yeah.
But schools have gotten in trouble to that. There's a famous story about SMU, Southern Methodist, big Texas football, that back in the day, and Clemson went through this too, that, well, yeah, we were buying them, you know, we transported them by limousine. And yeah, we did buy them a hotel room. And yeah, we did do this. You didn't say we couldn't. And this was the evolution of the, you guys can't do this.
Yeah.
Which I believed in that whole strategy. Like, no, you can't treat them like a rock star. And they have to go, they went to, you know, Auburn University. They need to go to class at Auburn University.
Yeah.
I believe that. It's funny how my mind has flipped it. But if they get out and they're not a, you know, Jerry Rice or Tom Brady or what have you, if that was their 4 years of fame and they're, you know, doing what they love now, or
Yeah, and they didn't
selling
make a dime
cars
out
or
of
working at
it.
Marshalls, doesn't matter. That was my bubble.
Yeah.
Shouldn't I have been able to capitalize on it?
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
is weird when you combine it with education. That's where it gets weird.
Rocky says in the chat, the problem is that opens the door for bribery to get kids to play for a certain school.
And hey, you know what I say to that? You do what you need to do to get these top tier athletes that are coming straight out of high school to go to your school.
And
I
just-
know it's dirty, but that's the game.
And to some degree, that's exactly what goes on.
Oh,
here to tell you.
100%.
I'm here to tell you that's
Yeah.
exactly what goes on.
We know what happens on those orientation days.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's money being thrown around. You've got scouts and agents saying stuff.
Right. Mac Jones, who'd come to the Patriots, God bless him, did not like have to pull a night shift washing dishes at, you know, the local pizzeria. He
Yeah.
didn't, dude. He didn't.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
like,
no.
Why is that? I don't
Oh,
know.
no.
Maybe his parents had a boatload of money.
Crafty
If his-
mac and cheese over there. He said, "Hey,
Yeah.
buddy,
Hey, I'm
got
not
some
a Pats
green for
fan.
you.
Don't
Come
confuse
here."
me.
the
But
weather
you
might
know-
be
you know
cold
what
up
I'm
here in
saying?
New
It does
England."
Go on. If you're the best at what you do, they figure out a way to take care of you.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. And Rocky also says, now this is an interesting idea. He says, I think they should be made to put the money in a trust fund until they graduate. So, in other words, pay them, but they have to put the money in a trust. It's an interesting idea.
I like that idea. That's what my dad did
Yeah.
to me.
Really?
Set
Yeah.
them up for success down the road.
Yeah.
Or at least, if you're gonna compensate them, make them put a percentage into it. So when they get out of college, if they don't get drafted, they don't,
Sure.
continue. They have something to fall back on for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the idea of the education, right? I mean, to get the education
True.
so you can keep going.
Let's be honest
Because,
here.
you know, being a rock star and being an NFL player, for example, are pretty much in the same percentage.
Right. As far as odds of becoming, yes. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Rocky says instead of the player getting the car or the house, they give it to a family member instead to get around it. Well, there's always ways to legally bribe people, and I mean, it happens every day in politics.
Yes. And international business, which we'll touch on in the future. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Your boat sits in the harbor with goods on it until you pay the harbor master.
Right.
That's when it
Exactly.
goes in.
Exactly. So where does this stand now? So individual states are trying to pass legislation to address this with the NCAA?
I believe it's individual states are lobbying the NCAA, the AA, that will go on for, and I believe they're going to accept it because it's not going to be struck down by anybody who's really interested at the appeals court or Supreme Court level.
Yeah.
It's their decision to make. You know what I mean? Nobody's
Yeah.
going to the oversight of the NCAA. It's I don't know that there is any oversight over that.
Okay.
And the students who are driving this, who are asking for it, aren't at the level that they're going to bring it any further. Is my thought, but it's going to be cool how it turned out. And the idea was fascinating to me. That when I heard they should pay student athletes some time ago, I was like, heck no. And once I put my brain to it, I'm like, well, yeah, they should if that's their bubble. If that's their time to make their money. The ones we all hear about and talk about, that's not an issue for them. But my former financial advisor who works for A.G. Edwards, if I can give a shameless plug,
Sure.
played for Boston College, graduated, played for the Bills and the Seahawks for 2 years, knees went out, and he had an education to fall back on.
Yeah.
So had he been able to make an extra couple of bucks, when and if he was a superstar, I don't believe he was, but... he went through and did his thing, played for the NFL for a few years, and now he has to make a a realistic living as you and I think of it. You know?
Right, yeah.
We get paid every 2 weeks. We get a cable bill. And
Sure, yeah.
I would imagine at the millions upon millions, you have somebody else worry about that.
Right. Absolutely. Well, great. Well, anything you wanted to add, Mike, on the subject, or
No. I'll wrap that up. I'll give you guys some more last parting statistic. Not that I gave you any statistics this far forward.
Yeah.
New Hampshire, I think, is one of the lowest 3 unemployment rates in the country, and I think
Yes.
I'm very proud of that. Like, as a New Hampshireite at the moment. The labor force is very tough out there. Everybody's looking for work, but the unemployment rate itself, statistically, is like at 3%.
Yeah.
And if I was an elected official or pushing that narrative, I'd be damn proud of it.
Yeah. Well, isn't that true? I mean, generally, doesn't New Hampshire, in both good times and bad, don't we typically have one of the lowest unemployment rates? It seems like, I grew up here, and it seems like New Hampshire always, even in very tough recessions, we seem to weather the storm better than almost anybody.
I agree with you. And there's, the behavioral part of that, like I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. I just like to think that people need to work to get where they're going. And, we have no income tax here. The unemployment's low, and the standard of living, depending on where you live, is pretty darn good. If you look at those statistics. But
Yeah.
it's a pretty cool thing, and the elected officials should, boast that and write on that. You don't hear it enough. I heard it from a third party, like a national radio show today. New Hampshire and whoever the other 2 were. I just heard New Hampshire, like 3%. Like in this atmosphere,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
It is remarkable. When I remember in high school taking a course at Concord High in economics, and one of the I wish I could remember his name because he was such a great teacher. He was an older gentleman. He's probably not with us anymore. But the first day of class, one of the things that he told us was, he said, New Hampshire is an economic wonderland. It really is compared to the rest of the country, and that's always stuck with me because our unemployment rate is low, our labor participation rate is great, and it's that part of that probably factors into why hottest real estate market in the country right now is right here.
It's
just incredible.
A really understandable model for like either people who aren't interested in economics or even young people who haven't been introduced to it yet. That you ever wonder why they didn't shut the state liquor stores down during COVID? And I'm not being sarcastic or weird or anything. It's because that's one of our main streams of income, and they put it into education first.
Yeah.
I mean, if you own a home, your property taxes are relatively very high, but you go to Marshall's and buy a T-shirt, there's no sales tax. You can go to the state liquor store, and your buddy in Massachusetts says, "You paid what for a bottle of Bacardi?" "I just paid double."
Right.
Yeah, well, I paid less, and my state still makes money, and my son or daughter still goes, depending on where you are, pretty decent school. And we have the lottery and stuff like that, but we're not dependent on, as far as I understand, really over-dependent on government money and money from outside. Certainly the tourism industry, would perk their ears up. We have a tourism industry that needs to be revived because of the
100%.
COVID thing.
Yeah.
But the folks in the lake region and on the beach and even the White Mountains, rely heavily on that because we have about 3.5 months to make that money.
Yeah.
And we do have the rooms and meals tax with about 9%, but people come in droves. Columbus Day weekend, you're not going to find a hotel room up north. So.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Memorial Day weekend this year, you couldn't find a hotel room down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That translated out perfectly for me because if you remember right, I had my Sunday gig on Memorial Day weekend.
Oh yeah,
we
that's
packed
right.
We packed the place on a Sunday. Everything worked out in my favor that day because Jeremy Yee was up from Tampa, and he was a big name DJ up here. When he moved down, he was one of my mentors. And he came up, played a set. We packed the house, and I was like, dang, this worked out perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I knew the minute I walked past the hotel, I was like, it's going to be a great night. It's going to be a great night. Every hotel room is packed in that hotel, I bet you.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, before we run out of time, so Christian, what do you have coming up for gigs?
Okay, we got the Pride Party Friday, June 25th at Madeir's Southern Eatery in Pembroke. It's the $5 cover charge, 21 plus. It's gonna be a great night. We got giveaways, Jack Daniels promos, dance party, stuff like that. I'm gonna have my videographer there too. And yeah, right now that's it.
Okay.
This week.
By the way, Alex Whiteley from the UK joined us earlier. I don't know if you were able to hear any of it, but
No.
he was very complimentary toward you.
Yeah, thank you.
He said,
and the Crazy Joe, I hope he's listening to this. You're going down, buddy.
Oh boy.
You really touched a touchy subject last night for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, well,
and
that's true.
I'm gonna be that thorn in your side for a little bit.
Oh,
I didn't say one bad thing about Matt today, except that he didn't help me, and I was trying to be reasonable.
But he did but can I say what he
Yes.
did? Am I allowed to say what he did? The main thing I've been focusing on.
Yes, briefly.
Oh, he's been
Because we're
he threatened to sexually assault somebody.
yes,
He threatened to sexually assault me.
right, yes, he did.
What?
He did say that in one of
That's
his
messed up.
videos. Yes. All right. Well, Mike Sutterth, a.k.a. Grant Lampton.
Thank you very much for today. I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you next Tuesday.
Absolutely. And please plug, obviously, we know you're at the Hop Knot every Friday night. And,
Yes, and I'll be down at the 603 on the patio this Thursday. It's going to be 82 degrees and
I
sunny.
sure wish I could be there.
Ooh.
Yeah, and Reckless plays there in the evenings. inside.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay, that's cool.
No, I don't. Not at the moment.
Not at the
all
moment.
right.
Yeah, that's
They're,
things
they're in
have
flux over there. That's cool.
things have
Yeah, we'll call it that.
things have changed. Mike.
Changed
Things
since
have-
2021.
Sunday at 1 a.m.
yeah.
But yes, the Hop Knot are great
Things got a
sponsors
little
here
reckless.
at WMNH. I will be over there Friday night, 7 to 9 p.m. with the fam, Kenny and Trudy and Mom. And please come down and see me play. We had a great time at the Juneteenth thing, and it was amazing, dude. It was just amazing.
That night was awesome.
I look forward to getting back there.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Well, we look forward to that. And all right, Mike Sutterth, thank you so much. And Christian, thank you.
Thank you.
And let's see, Alex Whiteley, thank you for Skyping in earlier. That was wonderful. And Charles Richardson for calling.
See you tomorrow, Charles.
yes.
I've cleared my schedule.
Yes, and
do this.
Jenny and I are going to be on as well on the Charles Richardson Show. That's tomorrow night from 7 to 9 p.m. at rawtalkonlineradio.com. Really looking forward to that. After I get off the air in just a little bit, I'll be recording because he wasn't able to join us live with his schedule during the live show, but I'll be recording an interview with Dirk Don, and he's the one who made that wonderful mini documentary that we all love so much about Crazy Joe and some of his antics, if I may use that word. And plus, I want to learn more about what else Dirk does in terms of creating content, and seems to be a very, very talented individual. So really looking forward to that. And then we'll share that, or at least some of it, on tomorrow's show, depending on how long Dirk and I talk. We might just play part of it on the live show and tell you where to find the rest of it if you want to hear the whole thing, because I think we have a lot to talk about. So depending on how long it goes. But anyway, so that's going to do it for us here for now. If you missed any part of this program today, it'll be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org and, of course, at mattconnarton.com. And we're going to close out with, as requested, a little bit of Bee Gees for you.
You're telling me.
Not my favorite Bee Gees song. I like Night Fever is great. I like Nights on Broadway,
Dancing, Nights on Broadway.
but we had a request for How Deep Is Your Love, so got to give the people what they want.
You're playing to the crowd, man.
Got to give the people what they want. That's right. All right, I'll talk to you all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.